Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask, yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope. My eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Help me ET phone. Full body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need? Golden chariot. Holy versions that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live streams, and on your metaverses, favorite games and widescreen. Metatope visualize.
What's up, guys? Figured I'd start us off with a little Rocky. You can't go wrong with some Rocky. Gets you pumped up. That was from the Rocky training playlist from Spotify. You know, we like to. I'm not quite sure who listens to that in the gym anymore, but yeah, Rocky training. That got my blood moving. Thanks for everybody showing up early. We always appreciate the 5 o'clock. I know you guys been sitting outside the Twitter space with your those little like pop-up chairs, kind of like a tailgate to a Bucks game. I hope everyone has their drinks, has their food, has their. I'm addicted to haichu now, so I'm eating sweet and sour haichu like it's anytime I can get my hands on any of it. So working on cutting that habit out this new year. But yeah, hope everything else is great for everybody. Go ahead and retweet the space. We've got a great show today. Mr. ToastPunk himself is in the building. Love talking to this guy. You always learn something. One of the most reputable persons in the space that I know. He provides this energy when he speaks in person by things I've seen online. I haven't met him yet at one of these expos, but I'm sure I'm going to next time he makes it over here from the other side of the world. And if not, if I don't go there first, you never know. There could be something going on for crypto NFTs in the future, but in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. And, I'd like to just let him introduce himself. Introducing the one, the only, ToastPunk. Woo!
Thank you for that, man. How are you, man? How's it going? Glad to be here today, guys. Man, I missed the show the last time around, and I listened to it back again, and obviously, I thought definitely, I got to get into this show and share whatever knowledge I got, plus also learn a lot from you guys as well. I see the stuff you guys are doing is absolutely amazing with your app and your augmented reality stuff, and we like that kind of thing, so we do a bit of that here as well. But yeah, man, glad to be here today, guys. Just let's have some fun today, okay?
100%, man. The last show was great. We had a lot of constructive conversation and meeting new people. Got people that weren't quite sure what we were doing and that are now on the Tope list that applied. And it's really cool to see. Really the whole point of these spaces is not to sit here and bore each other with big words all day, or sit here and shill a project. It's more or less, it can be educational, it can be fun, it can be edgy. It's vibes, it's really all it is we want to vibe out with people and not only answer questions, but maybe we learn something too. We're not claiming to be ever anybody is an expert in this industry. We haven't sold anything yet. We're a building company. We're tech first, and it's always fun to get in conversations first and foremost. And it's okay that you missed the last one, man. We know things happen. So we appreciate you being here this time. And the first time we had a meeting with you, it's a sight, to have you. And I appreciate you being here because I know that you definitely know this space in the sense that you want to see good things happen and the right things happen versus spending time on something that could be a rug or could be something that isn't going to better the space in general. So I appreciate your kind words, Toast.
No problem, bro. You just said it perfectly just then. I think 2023, I thought, I was all over the place in 2022, to be honest. I was here, I was there, I was spending time in all sorts of things. And ultimately, I'm saying 2023, if I'm going to do anything here, I want to make sure I work with really, really good people. Spend time with people that are there to build longer term in this space, not just for a month, 2 months. I'm talking about building products that are going to last for years to come, because We are going to welcome, we like to say this, welcome mainstream in. They are going to come in and pass all this shit that we got going on right now, the FTX saga and all this bad stigma happening around the space. Ultimately they will come, and that's how we're going to grow this thing together. And I always say the same thing all the time. I said, builders build together to make the pie bigger, so there's more to share around later on, and that's what we're going to do here. As I said, totally awesome to be here today. Let's talk whatever you want to talk about today.
Sure. Yeah, let's get we'll go through everybody here that's in the space, kind of say hi to people that's already on the speaker position. But if anybody here does want to jump up and either has questions or wants to add into something, obviously we're always down to do some Q&A and open forum, so don't be shy. But yeah, what's going on, Walker? How you doing today, man? You survived those tornadoes the other day?
Yeah, bro, it didn't get too gnarly. And I've got to say, Chris, you opening up with Rocky gave me this mental image of you riding your unicycle around Tampa, just jamming out to Rocky. Does that freak
A unicycle, bro. Bro, I fall, dude. I fell off my bike. You think I can get on a unicycle? You're out of your damn mind. You could see me running out there. You know, I could probably put on like a one of the my extra large Playboy sweater. Get some like little wrist wraps. Get out there with a headband. You know, running around. Hey, what's up? Hey, keep going. Yeah, keep going. You know, shit like that. I could definitely get out there and do that.
No, I'm definitely putting up a GoFundMe for Chris's unicycle and lessons.
All right, Enzo. Yeah, let's talk to Enzo about that. How you doing, Enzo?
Hey man, I had a rough start to the day. I had some unfortunate stuff happen, but I'm great now. Pumped to be in the space. I'm actually really pumped to hear more about ToastPunk's project. I actually got ToastPunk on like two phone calls in the past and got to hear like one-on-one conversations about his project. But dude, it's exciting. So I'm pumped to be here, even though I had a rough start to the day. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Been a wild start to this crazy year so far. But excited for we got nothing but up to see from here on out. So it's exciting.
You know, things happen, dude, and I'm glad you're here and able to spend some time and get your mind some time to relax and get pumped up with Rocky music, Toast Punk hanging out, Walker, the Diamond Mutant Ape. Look at that damn thing. Every time you look at it, you just can't miss it. It's got the cool. I think it's the cool like background that just lets everything else pop in that PFP, which is so sick. We got non-fungible Evan in the crowd hanging out with us. Crypto Medic down here. He just won some crazy giveaway. Now he's out here just buying PFPs like nobody's joke. So if you need to sell a rug, go ahead and hit him up in the DMs. He'll probably pick it up. Jordan's hanging out in here with us. Cool music guy. Shirley Lowe. I don't know how she got here. You know, I thought that she was the federal government for a while. Then she disappeared, and now she's back as a it looks like to be a that's a pretty cool PFP. That's a quirky, right? Am I missing am I
Nah, it's
messing
not a
myself up
quirky,
here?
and it's not the real Shirley Low. It's it's a
I know.
derivative Shirley Low.
I mean, I'm cool with it. I love it. But yeah, so appreciate everyone. Feel free again to jump on stage if anybody wants to chat with us. Otherwise, I kind of want to get into the grind with ToastPunk here. I want to hear what's going on with the toast because Enzo, I didn't know, and you reminded me that I need to go back and get into some open sea exchange with the ToastPunk collection.
Yeah, bro. Man, so we've been obviously, took the whole year, kind of last year and also this year, to kind of focus at what do we do, or how can we deliver things that will provide true utility for NFT projects. And I know the question comes out a lot, and I've seen so many out there, merch drops, tickets for this and all sorts of things. And I'm always of the believer that the tech could be used for something that people will treasure. Now, I know the word passive has been thrown out a lot as well. Let's earn passive income with this and all. I think there's a balance that we need to understand in life. As you grow older, you gotta understand is that nothing comes easily, nothing comes for free. You need to somehow rather have that fulfillment, emotional fulfillment when you're doing things, right? So yeah, the breakdown of Toast is, we've got a couple of things that we've added to the collection. The utility is one of them is called Crypto Toast. We just updated the algorithm for it yesterday, and that new algorithm is 2.3 times a bit better than the previous one in terms of its scope. So just like a bit of a background on what Crypto Toast is. Crypto Toast is this automated trading tool that we created simply to long ETH using BUSD, so only on Binance Exchange. We then deployed we ran trading analysts, a team of them to come up with the best algo. We ran a little hackathon between themselves. And then we had a few variations of the algo to test out for about 6 months. After backtesting a bunch of them, we decided to release it for use for the ToastPunk holders in December, and that came out pretty well. And yeah, my pledge day is that continually we will improve the algo to make sure that we get better gains. And right now it is at if you guys want to go check it out, you can go to crypto.toastpunk.com, and at the bottom there's a links documentation. You can go and check it out. Check out the full documentation on what we've written there. But yeah, things like this we do for the community. It was sanctioned by the ToastPunk OG DAO to get created. We went out and as my company went out and spent the money to get all that done, so nothing was costed to the DAO at all. It's a free tool for the community. It's just something that helps them there. So that's one. And as I said, that's going to be continued to be improved over time. But the big one we've been working on, obviously, is the eagerly awaited Racer Club, which is what we earmark since we launched the ToastPunk Genesis project to provide this game utility. And I'm glad to say, we've every day, every day we work on it. We just continue to expand on the different features, functionalities, all the little details in terms of, how many people in the race, what level do they get to play and things like that. But as a summary, again, for those of you that don't know what Racer Club is, I've not heard about it. That's fine, because we have not actually gone to full PR scale marketing with it, which we will in due course. It is a game built by us, but in Unreal Engine. But it's not just for the ToastPunk community. It is for a total of maximum 2,500 clubs on the Ethereum chain. So not from other chains. Not that we don't want to invite them. It's just that we know that there's plenty of NFT PFP based projects on the ETH chain that could use utility, and this hopefully will be one for them. Like I remember when I had my projects back in the day when we were launching, we were always, I would commonly see things like, okay, buy these NFTs, and we've also bought some Sandbox land or Decentraland land or whatever, or NFT Worlds land was quite popular back in the day. To say, hey, that's our roadmap. That's where we're heading to, and we're going to build a metaverse on there, and we're going to give all our users whatever. It's obviously all bullshit. Like it's so you can't buy a piece of land and expect your whole community to go down there and use it for what? Like sitting around and having picnics. It does not happen, right? So we saw the massive problem there, and we thought, what, this land, and everyone talks about metaverse land and this and that, and we know as builders, we know how much it costs actually to build. Firstly, because we scoped the whole thing up for a lot of projects, and anywhere under 30 mil, 40 mil, 50 mil, you're not going to get a good metaverse project. And on top of that, it's the balance of business. Do you spend that much on a speculative assessment of what could happen, right? So,
Guys, hear me?
yes, sorry, can you hear me? Hello, was someone speaking just then? Oh, did you?
Hey, great Toast.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So anyway,
Hey guys, I think Twitter just tried to rug us for a second. Everything kind of went haywire.
that is Elon.
Toast, do you mind jumping down and coming back up real quick?
Yeah, I'll do that right away, Mike. No problem. Hang on.
Hang tight, ladies and gentlemen. There was we got Twitter pulling some crazy stuff, man. They must have been doing updates because I'm sitting here staring, and all of a sudden everything just like Toast was talking, and he started turning into a robot, and then everything went crazy. So let's just give him a second to reconnect and let him pick up where he left off. In the meantime, yeah, let's talk about the Taupe list real quick while I give him a second. If you haven't signed up for the Taupe list yet for Metatope, please take a look at what we're doing, and definitely we'll get more into it here after Toast kind of talks about what he was, let him get keep going. And then, yeah, just if you haven't taken a second, look at the Taupe list and we'll explain in a little bit what it's actually all about and what the opportunity is there. Without further ado, we have Mr. Toast back on stage. Thanks for jumping back up, Toast.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with Twitter. Elon.
It wasn't you, bro. I think it was Twitter in general. Usually, like I couldn't hear you all of a sudden, and you were a robot, and then you disappeared. But I knew you were still talking, so that's why you rejoined. I think it fixed it.
Cool. Anyway, back to what I was saying. My point being is, we felt the need that projects deserve more, community deserves more, and that's why we embarked on the journey to build Racer Club. And every day my decision, just so everyone knows, and I know the Toast guys are here as well, every day in my decision, when I make decisions on the game, it's yes, it is for the betterness of our community, but it's for the betterness of the space as a whole. So a lot of the things I decide on and the team decides on is to improve certain elements, and we're doing it to give us the best chance, basically, to ensure that once the game launches, primarily with the first game, which for the ToastPunk community, that it'll feature nicely. People look at it and go, okay, great, this is finally some use case for NFTs, and we will have some sort of I know it's hard, but controlled hype on it, so that people will look at it and go, this is great. How do I get my own? And then they can proceed on to get their own via the minting of the club licenses. And then, just FYI, another big, like another Mission Impossible kind of thing we've done is there's a period in which we need to onboard. Part of our KPIs and part of our goals is 800 clubs in a span of each club being onboarded in 3 to 4 weeks. So that's a promise we made out there, and that's a promise we intend to keep. So that's something that I'm drilling on hugely with the team, to making sure that we have that process tight knit, essentially, to make sure that there's not a problem at all when that comes about. And to do that, just so you know, it's costing about a lot of money, and in terms of resources as well. I think the biggest scale up, there'll be close to maybe 400 to 500 staff members at that point there, with artists, devs, game devs, and a few other things. But because we made it very SOP oriented, it's like a factory when we start producing each club out there. The cool thing though is every club will be personalized to their own. The whole environment will be their own. The 10 hero characters that are the primary minters are minting will be nice and neat. So if you imagine Mario Kart, but like with a mix of Formula E and proper competitive racing, that's what you get with Racer Club. It's customized to 10 characters for each. And later, once we've done the 800, then there's this big asset creators marketplace we'll open up, where you can customize, and then we can open up a creators marketplace for other 3D artists, game developers as well, to come and offer their vendor services via that marketplace there. But yeah, it's a long stretch. We're going to take it step by step. First club, ToastPunk Genesis Racer Club, they get 30 days access. So yeah, to get that, obviously you just need to own one ToastPunk Genesis NFT. But yeah, this year is going to be great, guys. I think there's going to be this sort of stuff. Like, I can't just say that I'm the only builder. I've seen so many others out there, including you guys as well, doing things like this. And I'm just glad, because that's what we need this year. We need this big we need this wave of really good builders coming up with great stuff, so that the whole world looks at it and goes, there's something around here, and create that sort of excitement, which what drew me on initially into the space about the technology. So let's get all the bad stuff is going away, all the bad actors and all the Sam Freemans of the world. Hopefully they all just fucking go to jail, okay, straight to jail, and everyone else just comes out and start building, which is what I'm looking forward to, guys.
Yeah, man, it's going to be good to see a lot of these people who are, bad actors. I feel like that's a word that has been monetized in this space at this point. Yeah, that's something that is exciting to see, and I think Walker wanted to touch on that. I'm having a little bit of sound issues, by the way, so I'm just going to be a little bit more quiet. But Walker, did you want to say something on that?
No, yeah, I was just gonna tell Tish, really appreciate you sharing your story, man, and sharing your development. I would love to understand, more about like your clubs and your games, and also, with all of the trials, and problems that we solve on a daily basis as a founder. What would you say, to somebody who's coming into this space, who's trying to find their footing, who's trying to find their place where they can participate and provide value? What would you say to that person?
Okay, I would say first and foremost, this space is not about over promising, and also don't. I know it's good to reach for the stars, but I would say start slowly and learn. Like a experiment. To me, everything still in this very fragile, very new atmosphere is an experiment, right? So, experiment costs money. Okay, it's like R&D. Okay, so. If you're smart about things, if you understand from a tech perspective, there's no proven model to base it off. And those proven models they're going to try to base it off are actually usually shitty models, okay, which are either the pumps and dumps or the bad actors sort of stuff. So, you need to create something new. And if you want to create something new, you got to experiment. Now, the best way to experiment is trial something out, very small MVP kind of scenario. Understand from the community what it is. Now, if you're a bit more braver, like what we've done, because we've sort of gone through that whole community exercise of understanding what actually the whole space in total wants, then you can go for it a little bit more. Partner up with really good people. That's important. Whoever you partner up with, because you can't do anything yourself alone. No one can. Like it's not possible at all. You can't just go and try to be the Superman of the space. You have to actually work with the Avengers and try to build with everyone else out there. So that's the piece of advice I would say. Don't go by yourself, and work with other people.
Toast, I absolutely love that, and actually listening to you made me take a new perspective that I've never seen on like advice for new founders, and that's essentially to take a dollar cost average approach to your efforts in this space. Right? Don't over leverage. Come in at a sustainable level. Don't quit your J job. Right? Continue to have a long runway and position yourself where you can make it through long periods of downtime, and giving yourself that room really raises your your chance of success dramatically. I don't know if you've seen this, Toast, but many times for myself and others that come in and are trying to create new things, or they have a strong thesis on an investment and an idea, more times than not they were right. Their time frame was just off, and they didn't allow themselves enough time to find the success that they knew was there.
That's spot on there. And what you mentioned about the day job thing is correct. Like I think it's quite important for most people that do that. I on the other hand, I've never, like my whole life, my whole 20 years of work, I worked for my own companies, and I started them as a founder. I built them up, sold them off, so I have a good reserve to continue on. And for me, anyway, for what we are building, focus is paramount, right? So a lot of people see that I'm here all the time, and that's the thing with community building projects or the Web3 space in general. You need to be seen, and you need to explain yourself carefully to people to understand, so they understand your point of view as well. But I get exactly what you're saying. Dollar cost averaging part of things is like treating it exactly like crypto. You go out there, you do it step by step, but it's about those that go too hard, too fast, and over leverage, that go down and can't continue on, and you see, and that's then they end up as a rug, or a slow rug, which is not what the space needs. Yeah, so I agree with that totally, and I think that people just got to be more mature and calculated in the way they do things. Sometimes as well, it's not necessarily you got to go out there and you got this brilliant idea. You want to go out there quickly and get it done. Like no, I would say ask some questions out there in the market. There's someone that already definitely has thought of the same or either close to it anyway. And they could be building already, or you could go out and join them to build together. Like as I said before, partnerships is key here. You got to make sure you partner with the right people, join the right crowds, and sometimes even working in the Web3 space for other bigger organizations can help you as well to learn, to get that learning curve out of the way, right? Before you take on. And a lot of them have. I met a lot of people, great founders that have previously worked in, BlackRock, A16Z, the VC side of stuff, also in big games, EA Sports, and you can see what movements like all the big companies are doing, such as Yuga Labs, etc. They are bringing in all these big executives from the Web2 side, right? The Web2 world. I think they got Activision guy looking after CEO right now. They have the EA Sports guy looking after Rev Racing. So if you learn carefully on this year, not everyone has that capital, but to start with, you need to actually have that learning curve trajectory right and rightly measured as well from the very beginning. That's key.
Exactly.
Enzo, go ahead.
Hey, I just had a quick question when it came to the crypto toast. So is it for you for Binance only, or have you been able to integrate Binance US?
Yeah.
Because
So
I
right now,
went to
it's
chat.
still correct. Right now, it's still Binance only. We're gathering the API keys for Binance US to do some testing. So yesterday's updated meeting, while you're here anyway, for those that are listening that wants to get in, I know there's a lot of US and some European and even Malaysia side as well. They were trying to use it, but they couldn't. Obviously, Binance is not available there. We're gonna offer a drop down up the very top of Crypto Toast. So if you go to crypto.toastpunk.com, you can see the interface. It's very nice and neat. It fits on a mobile phone as well as web. But we're going to add a drop down up the very top that will allow you to pick the servers you want to join, because it is very server based when you look at APIs and things like that. So Binance, you can select Binance US, and then you can put in your Binance US API keys to go in, and there will be other servers as well to join, because I think each server we're limiting it to about 100 users, so that the timing of when the bot triggers the alerts are quick and rapid, and we don't overcrowd the APIs from a Binance angle. And another big update, FYI, while we're here, which I'm going to post out in the announcements as well, is that Binance is only accepting whitelisted IPs, so you need to go back into your API configuration soon. I think they gave us about 4 or 8 days or something like that. I got to check exactly, and I'll make the announcement. But we'll give you the exact whitelisted address of the server to use when you connect your ToastPunk to Crypto Toast to start using.
That's incredible. I just wanted to say, I know I just got up here. Hey, how you guys all doing?
What up, babe?
If you guys are enjoying the space, by the way, go ahead and follow it out. Go ahead and share it out. Let's get more people on board with this. I'm pretty sure Metatope's still doing that giveaway, $25 ETH. Yeah, just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there and whatnot, and just been listening into the conversation and whatnot. Some pretty incredible stuff here. I love the collaboration that's been going on, the useful talk like we should be having more often. And yeah.
Oh man, thanks for coming up here. I met Abe in Vegas. We had a great time out there at CNFT Con. He introduced me to a lot of really cool people in the Cardano space, which has now led to fantastic things. I mean, I think I met Abe earlier than I met Fettuccini in Bermuda, and all these people that we are now connected with with Walker doing podcasts with Fettuccini, and it all starts by meeting people and coming together. I mean, there's so much talk about how Cardano is like a very tight knit community, and is very I mean, like, in all chains kind of cultish, right? But like when I went there, and I didn't even own a Cardano NFT, it didn't matter. Like it was very, very welcoming, and I think there's a lot of opportunity with that chain to become something very special, because I just think that they built it from the ground up before like really showing off and making sure that they have tangible stuff to have use cases for. And I'm excited. Honestly, I'm really excited to see 2023 for the Cardano NFT space and what happens there. I know that we're a lot of ETH in here, but you never know, man. You got some of these other collections on
For
different chains
sure.
might come out of nowhere, you know? Are
For
you
sure.
Toast, and be real here, Toast? Like, what do you think about Cardano without, like, don't hurt anybody's feelings?
It's hard to ask me that question, because yesterday someone did as well. They said they were like their two favorite chains are ETH and Cardano. Or I think it was not a Cardano, it was Atmos, and I was like, sorry, my two favorite chains are ETH and ETH. I mean, the main reason for that is because I invest a lot in ETH. All my products are built around ETH. And the way I started with ETH, and I think that there's just so much more room for growth within ETH that we have not seen yet. And we think, like, generally we go, okay, you know what, MAYC is huge, BAYC is huge, CryptoPunks, like, it's not going to repeat it again. Potentially true, but there's plenty, and just so you know the statistics of it. I think there's close to 125,000 PFP driven projects on ETH, and majority of them just don't have any more legroom to grow because of what the projects themselves are coming up with. And you can see things like Utes. Obviously, you got a DGods NFT there, Crypto Chris. And you can see that he even chose to move off of Solana, which is, I would say probably the second biggest in terms of NFTs right now, right? And he's already maxed out the growth, and he can't grow anymore, which is I don't blame him, because they are trying to get more volume, they're trying to get more higher prices, but they just can't, because there's no more, the users aren't there. So I just think that, yes, over time, obviously all these smaller chains, layer ones, layer twos, will do well. But it's about how do you bring those users on, and what those users do for you. Polygon did it really, really well. I don't have to repeat, everyone knows. They did Reddit, they did Starbucks. Now they got Utes on there as well, and sorry, DGods on there, I think. Oh, sorry, it's not one or the other way. Utes went to Polygon and DGods went to ETH, or something like that. But I know they crossed over, or they're going to cross over. So you can see that I think for now, still there's a lot of work to be done on ETH. ETH is still not where I think, as far as the price is concerned. We saw the capabilities of it going to 4,000 odd over dollars last year in the bull. It's back down to 1250 right now. I think there's so much more room for it to grow even to 10, 10, 11, 12, based on utility demand. So yeah, I'm right now concentrated fully on ETH. I have not much to say much. The other thing probably I could mention a little bit on is the BNB chain side. Now they are doing some pretty good stuff. I know that because I know some people inside Binance. Binance has been nonstop trying to raise the club across to there. I said this is not enough NFT projects for me to do anything there with. But yeah, Binance is probably an upcoming good one as well. BNB chain, and then you've got newer people like Fire Chain. I don't know whether you guys heard of that. Number 5 IRE chain, which I'm an ambassador for full disclosure. But what I like about what they did was they intentionally or purposefully put in sustainability as part of their blockchain, and a lot of people talk about that, but they actually embedded it in their validator requirements, or a point system for validators that needs to have solar farms or something that is related to carbon emission savings. From a project's point of view as well, there's going to be a lot of grants given out. So I know they just raised a unicorn valuation even before launch, even before revenue, even before even TGE, nothing. So obviously they've got the backing to do it there. The founding team I'm close to one of the main CEO. His name is Pratik Gauri. He's like the Zuckerberg of India. They're just like a slow little people at the back that are building, and the connection they've got in terms of onboarding plans, like the military projects, the hospital projects, the government projects, and all that sort of stuff. There's just a bunch of smart people that are looking to do good in the space. So I'm happy to support those things there. Maybe I just don't know enough about Cardano to comment on it. But sorry about that long-winded approach. But answer. But
No,
yeah, that's what my thoughts on that day.
it's all good, and I respect all of that too. Like I think the biggest thing that's stopping Cardano right now is just the lack of knowledge because we don't really have much of a marketing side of things. But Crypto Chris could tell you like, you know, the events that are held for the Cardano community and actually being there and like talking to people and actually seeing what they're building. I think over time, like you said with ETH, like there's still a lot of room, and I think there's a lot of room for a lot of different projects, you know? Like there's so many things that are building and whatnot. It's just a matter of putting yourself out there and talking to them. Another thing that comes to mind is the easeability. How easy, how much sense does this make to do this kind of thing? How much money will I be saving? What are the pros and cons kind of thing? And the more that these dApps come out and everything, the more that other chain users can utilize Cardano for what they want, or any other chain, really. This goes for anybody, really. Um, but I mean, the power of cross-chain operability is going to be the future, whether you do ETH to Binance or Binance to Cardano, Solana, whatever you choose, kind of thing. Being able to connect those communities. I think right now, I mean, yeah, we did see a big pop in the crypto market, or at least the Cardano NFT market about a year or two ago. Um, but I think there's a bigger one coming up. As you guys can all know, like there's not really too much liquidity yet still in Cardano, but you have people like Farmer Nash, um, what's his name, Wob or something like that, who's from Sappy Seals. They've been getting attention on there and is bringing more liquidity into it, so making it more of a, you know, of a viable choice kind of thing. But I don't want to take up too much of the time. Just the power of collaboration. I'm really appreciative that somebody like Chris was at that event. We got along super well, and it was really cool picking his brain and seeing what he's doing on Ethereum and whatnot, as I own a couple of ETH NFTs myself. One of them being Fettuccine, if you guys, like he said, one of the first Ethereum projects to actually like mess with both ETH and Cardano. Um, but yeah, I mean, like you got to do what's best for your project, right? So, I mean, but just know that if you ever were interested in Cardano for whatever reason, there's plenty of people that have nothing but good intentions and want to help you out wherever they can, kind of thing. So the door is always open, brother. That's all I'll say.
I get that, man. Like ETH is ETH. Every chain has its bad actors and good actors, and sometimes the bad actors get a bigger voice than the good actors. But I know for a fact that there's always good people around. That's what I always like to look forward towards when I find things, because I know that their intentions are real, their intentions are genuine, they don't want to push. So by all means, I went to an event as well called Decipher in Dubai on my cross travels to Berlin just late last year, and it's an Algorand event. Event put up was amazing. It was like really, it was at the Jumeirah Palms Resort. So they spent, I don't know, man, stupid money on that place there. They had like entertainment, they had ping pong tables, which I spent a lot of my time on there, just beating everyone there. And we also had, I was invited to the speaker VIP dinner, and while I was there, interestingly enough, I spoke to everyone and goes, "Oh, so how's Algorand? I want to learn more about Algorand chain and how they were doing and how you doing in Algorand chain. Or, why did you like it there?" And a lot of them answered the question was, "I'm not really on specifically Algorand. I'm on ETH or I'm on Solana, but I'm trying on Algorand because it's about the chain enticing the projects themselves. How do they set up the enticements for them to come on? Whether it's the ease of onboarding, whether it's through grants, whether it's through hackathons, through whatever it might be, right? Those newer chains need to provide more value there, and the only way they can provide value if they generate their own business model, right? So I get it. Right now, everything is down in terms of the tokens value from those the coins value from those chains as well. But when the bull comes, I'm sure you'll see more openings, which will inspire a lot of people to push off to different chains. That's why that's the reason why I think they will have interoperability and those kind of cross functionalities later on. But it's still later on and down the pipeline. I think right now we focus at where you mentioned the word liquidity and where it is, where it stands. My belief is that ETH, it has a lot of liquidity, but it's just being crossed over from project to project, right? We can see that. And yesterday I was on another space, and I'm also close to the founder there called from Footprint Analytics, which if you guys don't know is an awesome dashboard to decipher volume, liquidity, and various other things on all NFT collections across all chains. And the biggest topic we were talking about was wash trading. And it's true. A lot of stuff gets wash traded. Even the biggest projects on ETH get wash traded, and they're the biggest culprits. You got your likes of CryptoPunks, MAYC, BAYC, MeBits. Everyone, they're using them for wash trades, whether it's for tax saving purposes or whether it's to increase volume to create a bit of FUD around showing, that's this happening. Let's join in right now. So all this sort of stuff happens. We know that. We just got to be wary as either in the investor side or the project creator side to build right. And at the end of the day, whatever you're building, whatever it is, it's about the people. It's about how we cross collaborate with people. So when I talk about cross chain, doesn't matter. It's cross people. I would say, collaborate with the right people, and you're not going to go wrong.
Oh, cool, man. And I think Senpai heard everything you said except for the last part. He just texted me that his fiance called and he had to go like immediately. So he asked me to say thank you for the good conversation, Toast. Walker, would you mind touching on, Toast just brought up a couple of things about interoperability and cross-chain stuff like that. Like with Metatope here, that's a huge focus for us. And I'm actually putting together something right now for this crypto or this ToastPunk I just bought. Walker,
Let's
are you available
go.
to kind of touch in here while I get this thing nice and sexy for a
Yeah,
post
bro,
and pin?
of course. So,
All right.
Toast, you brought up so many amazing points. I hate Abe's not here anymore, but this is going to be recorded so he can come back to it because so many great points being brought up about these chains. And full disclosure, I'm an ETH head. That's where I grew up per se. But we have to evaluate, these blockchains objectively for the service that they provide to the end user. And we talk about this mass adoption. We talk about Web 2 onboarding. ETH doesn't support it. And honestly, like I feel as though I'm as close to an ETH maxi as I can be without being tribalistic. But when we've seen the high volume of trading on the blockchain, the gas fees are absolutely exuberant. Even at very low frequency of trading for microtransactions is completely unsustainable. Yeah, and all the we're doing things right. ETH 2.0. I think we've reduced that sharding would be a part of that, which is where we're really going to get, in my opinion, that scalable network for ETH mainnet, and we're doing a great job at building infrastructure. I'm a huge EVM maximalist. I'll even go as far, from ETH head to an EVM maxi. I believe they've done an amazing job at creating a standard for the industry to participate in and to create a network around. But when you look at something like Cardano, they, in my opinion, they have done an amazing job at creating a network with a very low barrier to entry, a very low cost of transaction, a lot of security around their trading that ETH doesn't have. Within the smart contract permissions, we see so many ETH wallets getting drained. It doesn't happen on Cardano. Now, there's also a lot of functionality Cardano desperately needs, and they're working on it. When you look at the decentralization of the network, I think one of the most important things to really look at the scalability of the decentralization is the cost to run a validator. And I mean, you can set up a validator on Cardano for like 200 ADA. I think that they have done an amazing job creating a proof of concept, even for Ethereum, on the proof of stake blockchain, side of things. And where I think that Cardano has struggled, and what has really held back a lot of growth that's ready to adopt Cardano is the abstract coding language. They use Rust, and all of the developers, not all, obviously, never said that, the majority of the developers in this industry, they have a background in Solidity. So you're asking them to come over to a new network and code in a language that they've never seen before, and it makes it very difficult. They've created a few very interesting products. I've not interacted with them at all. The ERC20 converter has been around for some time, at least a year. And that's where you can literally take an ERC20 token and convert it right onto the Cardano blockchain. And then they just released, I don't know if it's a beta or it's full live, but you can actually, supposedly, you can take a Solidity contract and like one-to-one, it converts that into Rust to be deployable on the Cardano network. So, Abe brought up a point that it was marketing and education that was the issue. And although I do think awareness is important, I think accessibility is even more important to allow these developers to come in and not have to recreate the wheel of what they've been doing for so many years. And I love to see the fact that Cardano is building there. But yes, so I believe that nor Ethereum, nor Cardano, nor Solana have we been able to determine thus far who is the superior chain. They have different use cases. Some of those use cases have been more valuable in the current landscape of this market. But I think it will be so interesting to continue to see how they come together, how we can work to build an interoperable future. And that was what Chris was alluding to. We wanted to develop an application that was not, tribalistic to one blockchain. Our collection will be launching on Ethereum. We see massive value in this network, in this community, in the security and the infrastructure that this blockchain provides. In my opinion, I look at Bitcoin as the monitor and Ethereum as the internet. This is a decentralized landscape that is allowing technology to evolve at an absolutely unprecedented rate. Not financial advice in any way, but I am so bullish on ETH. You look post-merge, the inflation of the Ethereum token supply is down like 95%. Just to try to put that into a little bit of perspective, post-July 2021, you had 13,500 Ethereum a day issued on a daily basis to secure the network. Now we're around 500. And when you factor in the burn rate that was introduced from EIP 1559, I think we're only net positive like 2,000 Ethereum since the merge. All that to say, the supply and demand, the tokenomics of Ethereum are more bullish now, in my opinion, than they've ever been. But we know how valuable these other networks are. We know how great of a job Solana has done at creating a real seamless user experience, creating a fun user experience, where people aren't so overwhelmed. Because guys, I hate to break it to you, it's hard to use a lot of applications on Ethereum. Very daunting and expensive, right? You go to something like Solana, a lot of those issues are solved. Now, you have new issues that arise, right? Downtime in the network, decentralization is faulty at best. But again, different use cases, different information requires, varied levels of security. And I think that's exactly what these networks are providing. So our platform, our application is going to host all of these networks. and allow for Cardano, for Solana, for Ethereum projects and communities to integrate with our software, to fully embody their avatar, and to become the voice of these brands that they so much admire and love. And that's what we're excited about.
What's up, Toast?
Yeah, Walker. Firstly, Chris, congratulations on getting a ToastPunk and joining the ToastPunk fam. Now,
I'm next.
Let's go, baby. Dude, did you see how many sales you had yesterday? I was like, holy shit.
yeah,
You've been
because
popping off these last couple days.
we announced the crypto toasting yesterday, and yeah, I think it's gonna go a bit more from the other communities that I was speaking to. But yeah, you got a nice one. You got his name is called Shreko. Now, Walker, I got a question in regards to what you were mentioning before. So first and foremost, good explanation there on ETH. But I want to ask. I want to ask maybe a question for the Cardano guys here. So it could be whoever has that answer there. You mentioned that ETH has wallet drains. We know that it happens almost on a daily basis. It's crazy. It happened to my community members. It happened to I think one of the guys with CryptoPunks yesterday as well. All these NFTs got taken out. What is Cardano doing to eradicate or I guess slow down or even stop these wallet drains? Because the question here is about the cross of decentralization and self-control. So what is Cardano doing in particular to are they doing anything in particular to look at that?
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Toast, because this is such an amazing point that I think our community in Ethereum can reflect and improve on in a really easy and not a costly way. So the difference is the smart contract permissions. All right, if you look at the Ethereum blockchain, many of the exploits that happen outside of phishing are from meaningless smart contract permissions that users did not even realize that were active. Right? You go on to many of the decentralized exchanges, or other swapping, trading, perpetual future, DeFi lending platforms. And when you give them approval to your token, in many cases, you are giving essentially an unlimited permission to your wrapped ETH, your ETH, whatever it is, your USDC that you're trading with. And, in my opinion, this is more than anything, it's laziness from the platforms where they want to get that one-time approval. They also don't want to cause the user to have, fees over and over again to approve the wrapped Ethereum, the ETH, whatever it is. But when you do that, you open yourself up to these exploits, and then these smart contracts, these these controlling wallets are compromised, and then funds are misappropriated, and when those outstanding permissions exist, the exploits happen much more often than they should. And for any users in the audience, that are on Ethereum, that have ever experienced, that situation, any time for me, I go through on a weekly basis and I revoke any permissions that are outstanding, that are meaningless, right? That shouldn't be there, that I see risk in, that I'm not actively using. I'm going to revoke that permission, and you can do that through EtherScan. If you go on to EtherScan, there is a revoke tab, and you can just clear out those smart contract permissions, and that keeps your wallet safe. Now, obviously, you can fall victim, to phishing. There's many scams out there that will ask you for your seed phrase. If you put that in, the wallet's compromised. But from an ongoing basis, you revoke the smart contract permissions, you're going to be at a good standpoint. And to answer your question, Toast, that's what Cardano does different. It's very simple. But those ongoing permissions don't exist.
Gotcha. So you're saying that Cardano smart contracts as in they don't carry those vulnerabilities, or do a cross check before deployment? What exactly that means, or what exactly you're trying to say?
They stay within the framework of the transaction. They don't ask for larger than needed permissions on the funds that are being traded.
But isn't that based on the smart contract built by the developer?
Yes. And that so 100%, and I see where you're going. Ethereum could fix that very simply, but the standard has not been there.
Gotcha. So you're saying the ERC standard on these open contracts, which a lot of people just use over and over again, are the ones that are causing the issue, versus the Cardano newer contracts, I guess, that people use that are closed up in that sense. So that makes a lot of sense there, Walker.
User error, for sure.
Cool. So that's cool about the wallet drains. The other question I've got is about wash trading. We know that on the ETH market, it's quite known. Wash trading is 85, even 90%. The analysis came back on all projects that get wash traded. What is some of the other, and there was a for and against debate on this. Essentially, for being. And for those of you that don't know what wash trading is, it's simply just basically an NFT being bought by yourself, to yourself, and sold back to yourself. And every time that transaction happens, yes, you're paying fees and royalties. In some cases, the project intentionally sets it to zero for that particular period so that they can continue to wash without further cost. But what that means is the volume goes up. So that's the for. It trends on IC tools, it trends everywhere else, and other people ape in. Okay, that's what the for argument was. The bad argument, or the con argument, was obviously it cheats people, right? It's not real activity and no real volume. So people, mom and dad investors or unsavvy investors come in and they lose money on the pump. Because naturally, what will happen is once a wash trade attracts a lot of volume, it will go through a big pump and then it will dive, and that's when all the losses happen. So my question is on the Cardano side, and sorry, one more other thing before I rephrase that question is you've got then other marketplaces such as X2Y2, LooksRare, which predominantly where it happens, most of the wash trades, they've also attached their own token rewards to it. So, on top of all these wash trade activities that you can activate, you also get tokens from X2Y2 and LooksRare, and you can sell those tokens as well and gain more or cover your costs in terms of your little fees here and there. So my question is, in Cardano, what are they doing if they are intending to eradicate this, or are they in favor of it and they're just letting it go? What are your thoughts there?
Dude, Toast, those are all really great points. And I think this goes much farther than crypto. To my understanding, they're not doing anything. Honestly, I don't have many answers for that. It's very hard, and wash trading isn't illegal. It's frowned upon. But this goes much deeper than crypto. If you look at the gold markets, right? I mean, gold should be trading at 30x the price that it is today. There's over 200 times the amount of paper gold traded is there are physical gold that actually exists. So if there was a bank run on gold and people took those pieces of paper in their safe back to get their gold, there's a lot of people that aren't going to get it. And that was why it was, more negative in my opinion I don't want to say negative, because I think that seeing the regulation from the US government and the openness to regulate the industry is a very good thing. I mean, that's one of my big investment thesis as an individual is to prepare myself for the inflow of traditional capital, which will come once we have the regulatory framework. I tend to think that it's coming sooner than later. However, when we're talking about this wash trading, we're talking about these issues. We saw Bitcoin, get an ETF approved, but the problem is it's a futures ETF. It's not a spot ETF. And when you have a futures market that's built around an asset, the liquidity that's traded in that market never enters into the actual liquidity of the asset. It only trades on the volatility. So although there's a great opportunity, in trading the futures around Bitcoin, I think it really stifled the growth, and that's what we've seen is the fate for gold. So Cardano, nor are any other blockchains that I'm aware of really deploying tactics that fight against wash trading, and moreover just liquidity that's not participating in the market.
You mentioned regulatory catching up to it. I highly doubt that. I mean, that could happen anytime soon anyway. I mean, it's good if it happens, because then there could be some form of new liquidity being added. But I think it's still far away. Like if you look at specific topics, in the bad stuff, which is the wash trading. I mean, it's not illegal, but it's frowned upon, and potentially there's some tax implications there, right? When you wash trade, so you could sell something for a loss and then claim that, and then when you actually go out there and claim that as a physical loss on your taxes, that's when there could be fraud there, right? So it's not illegal to wash trade, but on the other side, it could happen that way as well. So I think you mentioned about regulations and it coming about. I'm just trying to think, and maybe an open question to others here as well, to answer. Do you think that regulation is, I guess, useful right now, or should we continue building first, or what the case is? And the reason for that is because even in the real regulated markets, we talk about stock markets, right? I know for a fact that still pump and dump happen there. We see it all the time. Look at Wall Street. Wall Street, how many hurdles of crap has it gone through, right? I mean, there's a famous movie on it made, on the pumps and dumps that the brokers do, right? So even though they get regulation attached, I think that it's not going to be conducive towards a better environment necessarily. I think it will set up some sort of framework, but humans are humans. They always work out loopholes to try to get out of things like that wash trade thing. I gave one example, I think yesterday. Similarly as well, you could be doing it from two separate wallets yourself, and then those wallets could be traced back to your funds. So yes, you are then found guilty of wash trading, for instance. But say if I make a pact with someone else and say, hey, you buy my NFT for a lower price and I buy your NFT for a lower price, much lower, so that we can save on tax, that also could work, right? It gives the benefit, but they can't trace it back. So all I'm saying is that humans will always enter into this loophole scenario no matter what regulations are thrown. So my question is, what do you guys think? Maybe Metatope or Crypto, Chris, what do you guys think about this regulations thing? Is it good for the space or bad for the space?
I mean, it's tough, man. I'm not as like paying attention as much as because not that I don't want to. It's just like I'm learning it as I go. I don't want to like say things about regulations and put myself in a position if I don't know what I'm talking about, honestly. So
there's no lawyers here. It's all good.
but it's also scary, right, Chris? Like it's also scary, and looking at like this big, like daunting thing. And I think a lot of times if we don't understand it, we expect the worst. And ToastPunk, again, you brought up so many great points. You ask amazing questions, and that is the foreground of good conversations and valuable conversations. And no, I do not think that regulation is going to solve wash trading in any industry, nor do I think that they really aim to. I mean, let's look around, and who's wash trading. But what I do think regulation does is it offers a regulatory framework where we don't have the thing, it is as many occurrences, like what we just saw with FTX and SVF, where we have regulation, around exchanges. We have checks and balances, the same, very similar processes that we do in many of our financial frameworks in Web 2. And what that will do, and the reason that I'm so bullish on it, and I cannot speak to whether that is actually positive or not for the industry, right? This is such a catch-22, because what an amazing framework and opportunity that we have, in this current landscape to build and to collaborate, and honestly, man, have a lot of fun. And I think we're all kind of scared, the big guys are going to come down and ruin all the fun. But what I can guarantee you is that when that regulation comes, over time, but some of it rather quickly, you are going to see massive liquidity come into this market. The largest government sovereign wealth funds and hedge funds out there are biting at the bit to get into this market. And what they are waiting on is the regulation. They have due diligence to their clients, to their people, to their corporations, and they can't invest in a market that doesn't have regulation. And so that's why I believe it's going to be extremely positive for the investors that are there from a financial perspective. For the industry in general, I honestly don't think that anybody can really say what they believe unless they're speculating on exactly what the regulation is going to come down to, and that I have no idea.
Well, I'll tell you what, okay? You said before, and sorry to throw the span in the works with the questions, but I'll give you my view on regulations, okay? From an investment angle, from a project creation angle, from participation angle, any angle, doesn't matter what it is. I think it comes down to the individual and their intentions and what they want to do. So if you're being a good actor, meaning you're doing the right thing, you're trying to follow a particular code of ethics that you've put up for yourself. You're not trying to get people in trouble. You're not just focused on money and things like that, right? I think those things that you continue to do yourself, as I said, it doesn't matter what sort of user type you are going to be okay. Like, I seriously, there's not going to be any issues. Whether or not regulations try to come up with something, I mean, they are there, governmental regulation. That's why the Web3 world is created, I think. That's my opinion. Okay, Bitcoin is created to decentralize finance, and it has decentralized finance. I mean, the governments cannot touch Bitcoin whatsoever right now. They treat it like gold. They treat it like digital gold, right? And imagine if they try to regulate gold. No, you can't. It's a natural resource, right? That is controlled on its own supply and demand curve. So my opinion is Web3 world is about decentralization. It's about power to the people, right? So as long as we're giving the power to the people in the right manner, and as long as the people are behaving in the right manner as well, I don't think regulations, there or not, will harm anything whatsoever. Now, if they try to come in, I know they're trying to do a lot of things like the digital currency, the Reserve Bank digital currencies that all governments are trying to come up with to form this opinion that, okay, you know what? Yes, we agree, crypto is good, whatever it is, but we still want to control it. That's where I think they take the power of the people out, because, yeah, who's going to be minting those digital currencies? It's still going to be the reserve banks. It's not going to be the people, okay? And I think the biggest part about decentralization is allowing us to choose on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, how we spend our money, how we what projects we mint in, what do we support, how do we create our own wealth, and things like that, right? So back in saying that, I think regulations, if you just apply common sense to your actions, I'll give you one simple example, like just based on a project of our own project. So the Chris, what you bought just then, ToastPunk Genesis, that's actually the second project of ToastPunk, the public project. The original project, OG1, which is what I've got on my PFP, and you can see a few others as well, only has 1,000 in there. But I'll give you an example. The second project. So I'm not going to go back all the way to my story, but the collection was based on actual real art that my kids created, food art, toast art. Okay, and that was on the Saturdays that they created them. My one was on the Sundays. But anyhow, my daughter is this savant. She's now 10 years old. She started creating these toasts early on, 7 years old, 8 years old, and she would take all these ingredients, okay, and she obviously, kids, they love Mickey Mouse, they love, Pikachu, Ketchum, Ash Ketchum, Shrek, and all of that. The one that you got is actually kind of looking like Shrek, and I'll tell you the story on that. It's called Shreko. So initially, when we came out with the ToastPunk Genesis characters, there's 10 characters in there, which is all based on actual food and designs that my daughter came up with. But because they were so close to the actual designs, when we actually first came out with the 10 characters, they were so close to Mickey Mouse, they were so close to Pikachu, they were so close to Shrek. Even though they were inspirational of and could be considered under parody type art, we took as a project the initiative to scramble that art again, so it does not look anything like the original. And then even from a naming perspective, we came out with our own names for each and every character. My point being, I'm trying to illustrate here, is that if you're a founder, or if you're an investor, or if you're touching on something, or if you're doing whatever in the space, think of it from a standard point of view, like a moral standpoint point of view. Like, do you follow the angel or the devil's side, and you make the right choices there. And a lot of people's compasses are different places. That's where education comes in. That's why spaces like this I like to come to, and I like to talk to people and tell them my experience, and also ask those relevant questions, is to get the moral compass right. Because the more our moral compass is right in the space here, the better it is for everyone, I guess. And you know what, regulation or not, doesn't really fucking matter. We will just do what we need to do to live and breathe Web3, and make the space better. So yeah, that's my take on regulations. I think, like, come for us, doesn't matter, it's okay. If you do the right thing, there's nothing to be worried about.
I love that, man. Bitcoin is the first technology in human history that facilitates global bilateral trade in a trustless manner, and that was the birth of DeFi. We are in a great position. We're super early. The early bird gets the worm. And dude, this has been a lot of fun. Guys, if you are not on the Tope list, what are you doing? Let's go, baby. This is an opportunity to be the first in the door to get your hands on this technology. We've got a full body markerless motion capture software that's going to allow you to step into your digital identity, to fully embody your asset, and to create content with that, guys. This is the evolution of the PFP. This is the next step into fandom, and to truly be able to fully step into your alter ego, face, body, and hands from the front facing camera on your phone, and making that easy, allowing the average consumer to be able to access their virtual influencer. So guys, it legitimately takes like 50 seconds to sign up for the Tope list, to get early access for this application, and to be first in line for all of our offerings that we're bringing up. And guys, at the end of the day, we're in this industry, and I heard Toast say it earlier, like at the very start of the conversation, and he was talking about people, right? He was talking about finding others that you're aligned with, and that you trust. And guys, our team's fully doxed. Our parent company is 48 years old. They're one of the largest media agencies in the country, and we're going to continue to push the envelope and to drive this industry to more users. So take a moment, sign up for the Tope list, and let's keep it going, baby. This is so much fun.
You know what, ToastPunk? You're like, oh, Chris, you got one of these, like, the second collection. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, this man, see, I got the second collection? So here I am reloading the goddamn wallet. We are going in on the OG collection. I already found the one I want. Nobody better pick mine up that I want. in the next like 30 seconds. Okay, I swear.
Send me a link, Chris.
No, because then you're gonna know which one I want.
So that first one there, that OG, you then belong straight to the OG DAO. Once you're in there and you got votes, so we propose everything there in terms of evolution of ToastPunk and what we do, and it's a general management of all treasury of ToastPunk there. So there's funds there already in there. So yeah, welcome to the OG DAO as well, I would say.
Let's go, man. I mean, it's fun to buy NFTs, right? Like I'm actually having a blast. Are we?
Especially ones that make you hungry, right? Or thirst your quench, maybe for food or something like that. But Metatop, I wanna know, Walker. So you mentioned a few things there, very interesting about what you guys are doing, and I remember the conversations when we had this one-on-one project vetting discussion. It's very, very interesting what you guys are building. Obviously, I mean, founders docs, big history in the company, big media reach. And I'm sure there's some collaborations to work with further, not just from the NFT project side, but actual collaborations like within, like right now. Just give you some examples. In Racer Club, we're discussing with Porsche because Porsche is one of the venture arms as well into our game, and they've got an NFT project, and they're saying, oh, what roadmap item could we put in, and one of the things, and they're coming up, actually the Porsche 911 NFTs are being dropped, I think very soon, and they go, okay, how do we unlock, how do we be part of the game a bit more? So I said, okay, there's an opportunity to potentially put 911 NFTs in the garage, where each club can unlock those NFTs if they own one of those Porsche 911 NFTs, and therefore, you can ride your Mutant Ape into a 911 and race it in the game. So things like that, I think that there could be opportunities, and one of the biggest things that we have not tapped on fully yet, we're still in discussions with a lot of different partners, is the digital billboards within the racetrack. So if you think F1, how F1 has different branding around tracks, the banners and all that sort of things. You guys being in the media agency sort of side would understand this very well, that is prominent real estate, especially if you got eyeballs on it. And just a bit of on that as well. The game is not the game of each club that we have. It's not just a game that is played by players. Players are important, obviously. There'll be really good players in there. But the biggest aspect of it is the fans. There's going to be huge watching opportunities to support the best of the best races out there, because we aim to build this kind of esports metaverse later on that allows, whilst you have your own clubs to race in, you can eventually bring your car and bring your character into another club and race for their native tokens, whilst we are hosting this massive $1 million prizes and things like that. So let's talk further later on, or let's explore some opportunities around maybe digital banner sponsorships or advertising for the Metatope community, or if you have any other ideas around that, I think that'd be really good. But some questions around your project. So when are you launching? What does the Tope list get you, etc., etc.? Maybe give some people here a bit of understanding there.
Of course, man. Thank you so much. You brought up some really fun points. I think you talked on some of the areas that you are going to see revolutionize digital media, and there's so many opportunities in game. I mean, you think about, because truly, I mean, you were seeing the World of Warcraft and some of the most popular games in existence for the next generation being cultivated today, and you think about an advertising opportunity. And at the beginning moment of World of Warcraft, how valuable is that? Extremely. One of the most valuable opportunities that are currently available in the digital landscape. So we're very excited about all of the opportunities that are presenting themselves in Web3 inside of gaming. I really like how you kind of offer this new perspective on streaming as a live audience watching the game. and moving that, extending that into AR and VR is going to be so much fun. So for Metatope, one thing that's at the core of everything we do is providing tangible product and a good user experience. And the software, the application that we built is, like you said earlier, Toast, like this is all R&D, but no, like really this is R&D. Computer vision, which is the practice of teaching artificial intelligence how to interpret and retarget data in real time to animate an avatar. It's very complicated. It's very fun. We're so thankful to have the opportunity to offer this, to bring this solution to the market. But we want to have a product to the end user that we're extremely confident that the people can pick up and have a good experience with, and that's when we're going to launch. So I think a lot of people in industry, they're looking at a date. They say, hey, we've got to launch here. They're trying to raise funds. They're trying to have a runway. And we're very fortunate in the sense that we have not only the backing, but also the wisdom from our parent company. And when our product's live and people it's in your hands, then you're gonna have a date. But right now we're gonna continue to build. We're going to continue to grow with the community and collaborate with all of the amazing brands that are building in this space. That's a huge opportunity there to offer a solution to actually onboard legacy brands, because it's very hard. As we talked about for the users, how daunting it is to get in this space. The brands are in the same boat. So we're going to continue to build and continue to drive to have a really, really awesome experience for our end users.
Okay, cool. I've got a question surrounding product engineering, or in particular your actual. And if you don't mind, I'm going to ask it right now publicly to everyone so they understand. So from your 2D to 3D to AR process, and you did mention the word AI there before. I just want to tread carefully with exactly what surrounds the process there. So can you explain in a bit more detail, not too much, but just so that we understand how do you go from a 2D PFV to 3D, and just so you know, I'm doing the same thing as well, but I have another approach to it potentially. But just I want to know from your angle, what are you doing there exactly?
Dude, that's so fun, especially to have a conversation, with an individual this building components, in a different way. So we aren't looking at it from a place of going from 2D to 3D, like in a mass manner. We're looking at it from introducing 3D models and having a very scalable way to onboard entire collections. All right, because the technology, the processes, they can be complicated and extensive. So what we have done with our infrastructure is offered a solution that is going to allow us to onboard, and we can create. We can take a 2D model, we can create a 3D representation with the appropriate rigging, and introduce that. But from a 3D perspective, it's very scalable and to introduce new models. And when I say that, in controlled environments, we're looking at a week to onboard new base models. Right? For PFP collections, you introduce the traits, the accessories; those are rendered in real time inside of the application. But let's say 2 weeks. To be super safe, you also have Q&A. We also need to make sure that the representations are right via the community. yeah, so that's what we're looking at. You know, we can introduce new base models per junior dev in a week's basis, so we can ramp it up pretty quickly.
Unity, you go first, and then after that, I'll ask another question.
Thanks, Toast. You got it.
No.
I'm too busy buying NFTs, man. My bad.
No, ask the question. I was gonna ask completely something different.
Cool. Okay. So Walker, I get that. No, not a problem. So I can share with you a little bit of our R&D into this matter here, because you know, if you can imagine, you know, we had to work through a similar process. 2,500 collections, average size 7 to 10,000 per collection. That's a lot of NFTs to convert across, and that's why we went with the first 800 being only 10 hero characters to start off with. So the reality is, if the PFP collection is created in a lazy form, so basically simple enough, where the traits do not move, and where they generate those traits in the 10K collection, it is easy to convert into 3D, because you can create those 3D characters in the same positions, as you can create the base, and then you create the 3D characters across it and create the same characters, and find the generation techniques close enough to the original 10K generation of it to produce those 3D characters for a full collection. But you know, our R&D shows that is like so time costly, manual time as well. So what we thought of doing was, first, as I said earlier on, the approach was very simple: just to take base characters, build them as 1-for-1s, even though they are generated out. And then later on, we'll apply these certain ways on how we can attach the 3D assets to a full character. If that sounded too complicated, don't worry too much about it. My point is I'll give you examples so that's easy to understand. For example, BAYC as a collection, believe it or not, is one of the easiest collections to create, because it's a lazy way if they did it. But MAYC, on the other hand, fuck no, it's so difficult to actually replicate, because they've got more intense traits that were harder to put in terms of its art, right? So the subject matter of 2D to 3D to AR is once you get 3D, then it's easy to go AR, but 2D to 3D is a big hurdle that I still have not found many solutions that are right out there right now, which is why we still need to lead in that aspect. Another project came up to me once, and lucky you did not answer it this way. Another project came up to me and said, "Oh, we just use AI for that." Now, if they were to answer that, or you to answer that, I was going, "Oh no, that's not cool at all." Because artificial intelligence, is still a few steps away from getting the matters done right. It probably could be used later down the track as a helper. So if you understand how a trait configurator works when you generate the contract or generate the collection, then you can actually apply AI for that later on. But right now, 2D to 3D, the best way to do it, to get the premium quality, right? Because I'm not so sure what you guys are building in exactly. I think you said before Unity, or is it Unreal Engine? Which engine are you using?
Unity,
yeah, cool. So whether it's Unity, we're using Unreal Engine, so it's a much higher, much more in-depth, more shadows, more perspectives and things like that. You need to produce a good quality game asset. You need to do a manual process and a touch-up finish manual process to it as well right now, which is why the intensity for each and every of these 800 clubs that we're going to onboard first, and we already discussed with all these people here, like MAYC is one of the clubs as well. Not Yuga directly. Yuga knows what we are doing, obviously, through our own Animoca brands relationships. But the community itself, the 63 of them wants to be a manager. There's only 10 manager spots, so only 10 of them are getting it. We're whitelist via that way. These guys, I spoke to them in depth, in detail, one-on-one, to explain to them how the characters will look like once it comes out, and we already done some samples, and it's it's true form to that life of you can see in the Yuga Labs kind of trailers, right? That's the sort of quality, even a bit better when you got interactivity in a game, right? So that there, goblins, moonbirds, even a pixel collection to come out and to convert them into 3D. It's kind of like, how do you do that? They're pixel, right? But it's still mechanisms to do it, and it all depends on the artist you do use, and all depends on, I guess, when you're interjecting within the game, the developers and how they embed it within to turn into Unreal Engine or Unity in your case, and that's the most paramount there. So is that team of yours right now in within your company, your media company, or who are you using?
So for the Unity side of things, we have a firm out of Silicon Valley that manages our our modeling, our rigging, and the computer vision aspect. But we are bringing a lot of those things in house as we scale, right? Because that makes a much better environment, in my opinion, in many cases, rather than outsourcing. But they've done an amazing job. And then our blockchain development and backend, that's managed out of Germany. We have some phenomenal relationships with a firm there. And you brought up this distinction between Unity and Unreal, and Unreal. I mean, dude, like, it is offering some of the most amazing quality graphics that we've ever seen. And for us, the Unity, I mean, we're producing like an 8K model inside of the framework, even with the render on the 14 Pro Max, and it's gorgeous. And Unity supports a lot of the tracking that we're using that Unreal doesn't. And what we're trying to offer, Toast, is a platform where users can come in, and they can access their asset through streaming, gaming, social media interactions, and offering a unified experience for their digital identity. So the mobile application, which is what we've been referencing, what you're seeing videos of, we're also getting ready to release, our PC version, and that is going to support the streaming, the metaverse, and the gaming side of what we're initially bringing to the table. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
No, you're right. Unity does offer more cross compatibility with different applications, web app, mobile app, etc. And just this FYI, the reason why we actually came up with Unity as our first game, and it was good, but it offered web browser capability, so you can play direct. But it just didn't have that impact that I wanted personally, and also some of the our guys, because we're saying if we're going to build something for the entire space, and for not just now, for to last for years and years and years all the way through, we want to build the best quality and for futuristic capability. And we know that it's going to be a matter of time where computers and applications are going to grow to the point of acceptance of Unreal, because Unreal is just close to that AR segment of quality, right? So it goes beyond 4K, it goes beyond all those things there. So because we're building for long term, I said let's embark on this Unreal Engine journey. And once again, because of our user ecosystem, it doesn't necessarily have to have I don't have to have per club millions of players. I can have per club hundreds of players is enough, because you got one club and then you've got multiply that by 2,500 clubs, and that becomes millions of players, right? Overall as an ecosystem. But as I said earlier on, the key is not just the players, but the fans. Like if you look at soccer, there's 11 players. There's some reserves. There's whatever it is. There's not that many players, right? They are the stars, but there's millions and millions of fans. So we know that not everyone can actually, like, people love soccer. They play soccer, but can they play for Real Madrid or Barcelona? Probably not. Can they play for even the 30th team? Probably not. So there's an opportunity to become pro, and when you become pro, yes, you get rewarded for it. So that's where we think the gap currently today, where they assume that, okay, everyone can just play and earn, and then the mechanics of all those play and earns are another issue altogether. I don't want to go in there because only today 4 to 5% of what player in-game spend is being given back to the players, which is unfair. We flipped it around. We made it 95% going back to the players, fans, and the managers. So hopefully, those little experiments in what we are attempting to do will suffice to show that, okay, we're creating not just valid propositions for existing NFTs, but also valid proposition for communities, because you can stick together with communities, you can play with your own communities, you can support your own communities, you can grow with your own communities, and take it from that there. That's why we chose Unreal Engine. We know Unreal Engine is the lead up towards our later evolution stuff, which is Xbox, PlayStation, and whatnot, those main console games. And to attach the gamify side of things is quite easy as well. We just did a separate companion app that controls. It's like a wallet, Racer Club wallet that you use to control all your native tokens and where you play the game with, and control the NFTs you use and things like that. So the crypto side is handled that there, and the gaming's handled on the gaming side. And because esports, I would say, is the natural curvature towards mainstream gaming. That's the sort of quality or level we wanted to hit. But I get what you're saying with what you guys are doing. It's absolutely, it's like FaceTime. When you use FaceTime, you can easily go in and change your faces around. I like to do that a lot when I FaceTime my kids, to put myself in a dinosaur or a pig or something like that, make them laugh a bit here and there. But yeah, that's the sort of stuff I think it works really well for what you're doing. And I think you should continue to go with it there. I just, I like to see more of what is happening, and I can't wait to see more, actually.
Dude, I love it. One thing I'm excited to see, Toast, maybe we could do a collaboration where the fans have a real-time expression with full body movement.
Yeah, can I
in
do
the
that?
stands
We've got
as they're cheering as the cars come by.
Mike, we've got actually the 10 characters, obviously from ToastPunk Genesis, created into 3D actual characters. So they got limbs, they got everything from the Brit. They sort of came out and they became their own characters. I would like to see that in one of these things you've got. Is that possible or not?
We can definitely work on that, Toast. So again, right now, first thing we're doing is the BAYC. But yeah, man, we should be able to incorporate that. Yeah, we can make that happen. Let's talk and let's find a timeline for that. Let us see the models, understand a little bit more like what we're working with, and we'll be able to give you a much more finite date. But we would love to see that happen.
Yeah, it's currently all in Unreal Engine assets. So we took the progression steps of artists first.
Are those GLB files though? Because typically
yes,
Unity,
yes.
So it's
you can bring them back.
It's very easy to port over.
Correct. They're all polygons at the end, and it will just I think the quality aspect of it would drop a little bit, but it's fine because it's more on a short screen that you can see. But I would love to see that as well. I think the community would definitely love to see that as well, so they can bring it on the phone. Now, I always say, I wish I could, put my own Toast characters into FaceTime, and when I talk with my kids, I become a Toast in front of them, and they know who's talking. Because the story of Toast actually relates. If you go back on YouTube and check it out, how I came up with the project, it relates very, very closely to my kids. It's all their designs. It's all what we did in real life with them there. That's how they got me into the space. My daughter in particular. It's a funny story, because I was I'm a tech entrepreneur by myself, and I do a lot of stuff in the tech space, but I didn't have a freaking clue what NFTs were. I didn't even know in 2020, up until 2021 even. And I heard a little bit about it here and there, but my daughter's like, oh, did you hear about this pixel whale? It sold for $250,000. I said, daughter, get out of those scams there. That's all scams. A JPEG cannot sell for $250,000. It's rubbish. And then my tech team and I just went to work, and we found about the technology, and we're like, wow, this tech is what we actually wanted. We were creating already crowdsourced pricing, machine learning tools and things like that in the secondhand goods marketplace, right? And we were creating a lot of crowd-related feedback things. So this just made it a lot of sense that, if Web3 is about, getting the community involved, getting crowd feedback, and ongoing feedback loop about how do you evolve and how do you evolve products and items and things like that. This is the space we want to be in, and that's how I got involved in the space. It's a thing. Another time I'll share that story. But man, it's been great talking to you guys today. Was there anything else you guys want to cover?
Nah, man, that's pretty much it, dude. I appreciate everything. Everyone's, all the conversations. It's been a fantastic space. I mean, just listening and absorbing. It's like I said, I can always learn something when you guys are in the room, especially Walker and Toast. Real quick here before we close out, just a heads up, we only do have a few minutes before I got to get out of here and close it down. So real quick, Uni 3, what did you have a question for us?
I was going to offer you an idea. I will be really quick. I will come from like an industrial design perspective. So we usually do, like designed physical products, but now I changed it to AR. So I kind of get curious about the topic. So my idea is like creating an Alexa, but with like an interface that puts your like NFT as like the avatar, as like your personal assistant. And I kind of like designed the product. So if you guys ever like interested in that, I will just give you the product and like allow you to build, and I would love to like use it.
Well, dude, just hit us in the DM. Hit the main Metatope account. I'm the director of partnerships, Crypto Chris G. So, dude, you're more than welcome to hit the account. Hit me as well, and let's get on a call and really discuss. I mean, maybe this is something we can support you with as well. And yeah, would love to have a discussion with you on the side.
Oh, like the physical products is like a painful process. That's why I dropped. I just wanted to like offer you this. Yeah, it's like a super tough road, but I think if you like manage to pull it off, like Amazon will buy you for like hundreds of millions of dollars probably.
Well, we are a tech company first, man, so we're open to all sorts of ideas. But thanks everyone. Thanks Unity for that. And thank you for everyone joining the space. Enzo, man, you got a $25 knockout for us here. What's the deal?
Yeah, hey, what's up, guys? So I just ran the Twitter picker on everybody that had joined in, and we have Dad Bloop as the giveaway winner.
All right, do you see that person in here? They're waving a hand, something like that?
Can we pull him
There
up on
are
stage?
47
I want to
people
hear
that
some
can't see in
excitement.
the space. So he might be in the space. There's 47 people I really can't see.
Hold on, bro. I can search it. What is his name?
Dad Bloop?
DAD? Like dad?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not in here. So who else? Next one. I'm checking one more time.
While Chris is checking and Enzo is picking, I just want to add the mental imagery of Chris on the unicycle while also participating in a spelling bee.
Oh my god. All right. Well, it's a great vision. Who's next, Enzo?
So up next, we have Alex D. Great, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Oh, we got Alex in here. Come on up, Alex. Come get.
Getting paid.
I invited him. Let's see if he comes up. Just says thank you. You just say hi,
No.
man.
I want to know. I want to know what NFTs that Alex is buying with this massive amount of prize funds.
Well, Alex isn't coming out. Do we give him the chance to still come up, or do we go to the next? Or what's the deal here? Maybe they don't speak English. You
think
never
that
know.
we
They might
should
just be
give
here.
him. I think that we should give him 30 seconds, and in the meantime, we should do a mini spelling bee.
No.
Enzo, give Chris a word.
All right, and let's go ahead and pull the next person, Enzo. 30 seconds is up.
Oh my god. Are you bad at spelling too, dude? I can't spell. Don't feel bad.
I can't spell shit. I'm from Alabama.
Shelly's from Alabama and she can spell decent.
Who's next? Pick another name.
Shelly can't spell. She married you.
We'd like to get a winner.
So up next we have Mike. with a piece of bread in front of his name?
Mike with the bread.
Mike's definitely here. I just invited him up. He's got to be here. He's got a piece of bread in front of his name.
Yeah, you know what that is? All the piece of bread in front of their name. It's the it's our bread Twitter verification symbol. So you'll see a lot of
Oh, that's sick.
spaces. There's plenty of PFPs out there because we know that not everyone, that there's people out there that use obviously the ToastPunk PFP and they'll die with that PFP of that ToastPunk because they love it so much they will never remove it at all. But there's a lot of others as well that want to change around. We said that's cool. It's a Twitter verification symbol for the bread fam, the Get That Bread fam. So that's why there's all that emoji at the front for the bread.
Welcome upstage, Mike. What's going on, brother? Thank you for hanging tight with us for a couple hours.
What's up, Enzo? I was just driving home from work, and I'm like, oh, I hope he keeps going till he gets to me.
Let's go.
Thanks.
Thanks for hanging with us, Mike. Appreciate you chilling on your ride home, dude, and getting serenaded by Toast and Walker.
Mike, yeah, okay. What NFTs are you buying with these prize funds?
I might buy another Toast, actually.
Oh, let's go.
Boom, 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 boom.
I gotta stack those Genesis for when they're worth 1 ETH.
Bro, what do you think I picked up in OG too? I didn't realize there was another collection. I go on there, I'm like, oh, this floor is thin as hell.
Welcome.
I'm hanging out with the ToastPunk OGs now.
Yeah, I'm in there too.
Good deal, man. Well, thanks for coming up, man. Send us your address so we can get you that $25 in ETH. Hope everyone had a great time in the space. Please join the Tope list with us. Hang out and pick up a ToastPunk after you take a look at everything he's done, because I looked at that website. It's pretty damn cool, and it's easy to understand what their community is involved with. So definitely take your time and spend some time with ToastPunk. You obviously know he's legitimate, and he is here to stay and really cares about what happens for the good in the space. So I'm very bullish on anybody like that, and especially bullish on anything he's involved with, including his own project. So thanks, guys. Any last, let's say goodbye here real quick.
Yeah, I just want to say thank
you. Oh, did you rug Toast?
Bro, he rugged on the final. That's the best mic drop ever. I think this is a really fun space.
Did it not work, my microphone again? Bloody hell, Elon. Get it fixed. I just want to say thank you guys again for having me here, obviously, and really, really appreciate the conversation today. It's been amazing. And also welcome to the fam, whoever has picked up some toast, and Chris as well. And definitely I'm looking forward to what you guys are going to be doing. And I'll be keeping a close eye.
That's right, baby. What did the Toast say when he fell down the stairs? Christ almighty. Good night, guys. Take care.
Yeah. Cyberpunk. Yeah. I mix my ETH with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask. Yeah. Crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Help me ET's phone. Full body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need? Golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital ID. I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Yeah, Metatope is your mirror to the metaverse. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone.